Happy birthday, Mission Control. 10 years old.
10 years? 10 years.
10 years.
10 years.
Over the last 10 years, we have won 36 contracts related to the moon, 30 of which were rover related. And we've brought in $15 million of non-dilutive funding.
This is a huge deal. The paradigm has completely shifted in terms of what we can do in space with innovative companies like Mission Control compared to what government missions have been able to do in the last couple of decades.
The start of the company, flying anything in space, was a huge goal. I think we've reached the level where we have the ability to just continuously operate a spacecraft mission over the next 10 years. And in doing that, I hope that we get to help push the Canadian space industry forward, because I think it has a lot to offer on the global stage.
Space enables everything. It enables monitoring our environment. It enables connecting our remote communities and providing safe borders. I'm Ewan Reed. I'm founder and CEO of Mission Control. I like to say that when Mission Control was started, we weren't really a startup. We didn't have one specific technology, one widget that if only we could raise venture capital, we'd disrupt the widget market and make billions of dollars. It was just that we were a group of people. We wanted to work in space. We believed in space. We believed that space was the future, that space was a critical part of humanity's discovery, exploring who we are, where we come from, where we're going, but also that it was an enormous market.
Ewan forwarded me an RFP from the Canadian Space Agency around robotics and autonomy for Mars rovers, asking me if he thought we could bid on this. And this was before Mission Control was even a company. So I thought about it, and I thought we could win it. So we decided to put in a proposal, and we actually won it.
We said to ourselves, space is the future. It's going to be a huge opportunity. Let's make a company and let's do things differently. Luckily, and through hard work, we were able to win a contract with the Canadian government for almost $500,000. And that was to develop a prototype AI system, a system that would be designed to help Mars rovers navigate more safely.
And over the course of this project, we realized pretty quickly that we were developing kind of onboard software technology to detect these obstacles, but we really didn't have a means to actually operate this robotic system. And so we decided to develop our own, and around that time, there was this kind of increasing wave in commercial lunar exploration. And because we had been in the space sector for a long time, we actually knew a lot of the players emerging south of the border that were building lunar rovers, building lunar landers. So we got to talking with these folks and really saw a lot of opportunity, a lot of commercial opportunity to adapt that technology we were building into lunar applications.
So our team went down to White Sands, and we needed to operate this robot, in a Mars-like way. But we didn't have that solution. So our team created it. And in so doing, the foundation for what has since become our first product. It's Spacefair, a platform that lets our customers operate and engage with space-based robotics and advanced payloads. We found this place here on Elm Street, and one of the cool things about it is this really old building, but it has this big lab that has no pillars. And we wanted to make a Moonyard. And the thing about the moon is that there's no pillars, right? So we need to have this big, open, contiguous area where we could put a bunch of sand down and make the moon. We signed a lease. We got them to fit the whole place up and design it for our specs. The Canadian Space Agency supported us with another contract. We were given a contract to develop another AI system, and it was basically adapting the first one, but for a lunar scenario. We called it Craters. Craters stood for Contextualizing Rocks, Anomalies, and Terrain in Exploratory Robotic Science. And as part of that, the CSA helped with some of the funding that allowed us to create the Moonyard. So we have this 4,000 square foot Moonyard, kind of a unique facility in the world, one of the first ones to be created that we can, undertake full end-to-end robotic missions. We can use the system to test how robots are operated and test the software we're using. But by also being able to run end-to-end missions, we can run an education program that we've created. Ever since we've been a company, we've been working to inspire the next generation to always keep exploring. And we've run our program that we call Mission Control Academy. We've now touched the lives of students on 5 continents. And basically these students, anywhere in the world there's an internet connection, they can operate a real rover prototype remotely from their classroom using our Spacefarer product. And I'm thrilled to say that now every week we have multiple classrooms that get to do this. They get to use our Moonyard and our rovers and our Spacefarer and be part of kind of real exploration. It's really exciting.
So in 2019, this is sort of, we were pushing really hard to get flight heritage, because as a space company, we were at the time in existence for roughly about 4 years. We hadn't flown anything in space yet, and that was really a big focus for us as a company to get that. We had an opportunity to respond to a CSA RFP to do flight technology demonstrations on the lunar surface. So Yuna and I flew to Japan in 2019 to go meet some folks at iSpace to come up with a way in which we can realize some from flight demonstration technology.
And, we announced that we were going to the moon. It was so exciting. Our team was, thrilled. I mean, this is the cutting edge. No one in the world has done the kind of stuff we were trying to do. We were going to be the first company in the world, the first organization in the world to send a deep learning AI to the surface of the moon.
And so, we built our technology. We integrated that to the SpaceX rocket upon which the iSpace lander was built, and were launched in December of 2022. We'll cut to May, 2023. We were all in the office here watching the landing attempt from iSpace.
There was us in the office, 30-something people, but I know our families and our friends were watching too.
We had a couple of our key experts, our scientists and leading operations people in the Middle East at an operations center there. The culmination of years of hard work and stress. And as we were watching, the company, iSpace, was calling out the status of the lander. It was getting closer. It was this high above the surface. It was moving this fast. And then it was kind of silence. Like there was just this moment where what's going on? And we were waiting. And then there was a rush where, oh wait, they're going to speak again. And I went to turn the volume up and I managed to turn the TV off and everyone went, what? And then we ran up to another TV and turned it on and we were all huddled around, the whole company. And we were watching as the CEO of the company who built the lander got on stage on the camera and said that they'd lost communication with the lander. And that they could only assume that meant it was the end of the mission.
That was not fun. That was not a good part of the night. A bunch of us just went right outside to go and just get fresh air and again look up at the moon, and there were a lot of tears, and it wasn't time to start thinking about the silver lining yet.
When the final moment came that we found out that we actually didn't make it, we did, but just in a few more pieces than we had hoped. It was a really somber moment. It was, I don't think any of us fully expected it, and the room was sad. The people were sad.
And I remember my parents also sent edible arrangements to the office, which I was mildly embarrassed by, but people actually enjoyed after the crash.
Landing on the moon is a tricky process because the gravity is really low and you don't have any atmosphere to slow you down as you're coming toward the surface. And we have a lot of new actors in this space that are trying to learn how to do this for the first time. And so as you're innovating with these companies, things are going to go wrong. And it's just part of the risk that you take when you're working on missions like this.
Very quickly, I certainly realized that it was a huge success for us. We had achieved all the milestones we needed to achieve to actually fly something in space. We had integrated this with a customer system, and they approved that. It was working in deep space, and we had been monitoring this for the entire duration of that transit. While we didn't get the nice images of the surface of the moon to utilize our flight software to process, we still validated that we can do this. I really think that mission control was started with this notion of just wanting to follow your passion and doing what you think is the right thing to do.
not just sort of ethically or morally, but sort of just inside yourself. Like what is it that we want to do with our time?
Just a group of smart people can come together and develop software that's, really important to, future of space exploration, and hopefully can bring something to terrestrial life as well.
We're all such huge nerds. We're here because we love this. This isn't just a project that we're working on. This is your passion. People usually dream since they were kids to work on things like space robots.
When I was interviewed by Dr. Melissa Battler, when I was first brought on, one of the first things she said was, we bring people on to be part of the team that if we got stuck on Mars, we would want to live with these people.
And that's an environment that you don't really get in any other field that I've seen. The teams that you build in space are something that are truly special.
I was dropping my son off at school the other day, and one of the moms came up to me and she said, my son came home and said that you're an astronaut. And I said, that's absolutely not what it is. But it was, I didn't tell him else what, but he's so excited for space. And he wants to come and see, because you have moon stuff at your house. He wants to come and see your house.
I'm pretty excited about what's to come next.
We have seen a huge resurgence in space in the last decade, but it's just the tip of the iceberg. It's just the beginning. We're going to see so much more space activity, especially here in Canada.
I've seen the space industry in Canada grow. It's not just CSA being the main player, but companies like Mission Control and other small companies. So I think that the Canadian space sector is at a really interesting turning point, and I'm really excited for what's to come.
We applied for and were accepted into a program called the Creative Destruction Lab, which is kind of an accelerator innovation program for space-based companies, and it was led by Chris Hadfield. And we graduated. Only a handful of companies get to graduate every year, and only a couple Canadian ones. A lot of pressure and emphasis about raising capital, raising equity, and we'd always been bootstrapped. So this was a bit of a change for us. We'd been generating revenue, but we did want to grow aggressively, and there was a huge opportunity. In the summer of 2023, we closed a seed round of equity financing led by Green Sky Ventures in Toronto, who really understand, I think, the thesis behind what we're trying to do and see the value and the growth in the space sector here in Canada. And now we're about to see the fruits of those investments pay off. There are at least 3 lunar rover missions that our technology is going to enable. We're the only Canadian-owned company to actually deploy real technology on a lunar rover. It's just so great to see the team battle through adversity and come back together stronger. Putting AI in space, it's crazy. I talked to my mom, she says it's crazy. And I say, yeah, it's crazy. And she's proud of me, and I'm proud of the team. And I think the team is proud. I think we're all proud of what we've been able to do. It's hard, right? There's a lot of adversity along the way. We work together, we support each other, and I think that pride in what we do, the values that we have, and that teamwork, that's what lets us do this and lets us really be Canada's new space company.